Nelson. You're smoking some of the best dope God ever put breath in.
Justin FREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
You live in sexual anarchy.
This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Well, apparently I am a loser. I was scheduled to have this bigwig meeting. I thought I had made it. I was supposed to have this bigwig meeting. That's why we came on just a little bit early so we could talk to Harris. Harris was gonna hook us up with brand deals and sponsorships and yada yada. They canceled on me like within the last couple of minutes. They sent me an email 9 minutes ago. He sent me an email 9 minutes ago. Here's the, like, I already had the Zoom meeting up and everything ready to go. You see, like, it's the inception of the camera there because I had the virtual camera. I don't know why Harris canceled on us here. So like, it had a little like a pre intro form, right? I filled it out. Username Justin FREAKIN. Subscribers 7.82K. Yay. I just want to grow my audience. Don't want to launch any product. What's your target monthly revenue? 40K a month. I think that was the highest. Okay, what do you want to grow, earn from YouTube immediately within the next 30 days? You the sole decision maker? Yes, I am. Cancellation reason. Unfortunately, we've had to cancel your appointment because we feel that at this point in time, we might not be the best fit for your needs. You definitely aren't, and I was going to fuck with you the entire time, so perhaps you went to my channel and realized what you were actually talking to, and what was getting ready to happen to you, and you made the smart move. Perhaps you actually did your due diligence on me and realized what you were getting yourself into and made the smart move and canceled. But you took the time to make a video for me, showing me that you went to my channel and that you watched my content. I've already replied to them and said the cancellation was an error. They do not look to have emailed me back. So the meeting is supposed to start at the top of the hour. So let's go ahead. We're going to come in here. I'm still going to join the meeting. Are they in
here? With these guys, we turned over just about $20,000, which is insane.
Why? Because you.
Oh no, this is a video. They're making me watch an ad.
And the system works. Matter of fact, it works too damn good.
It works too damn good.
I mean, I gotta turn my darn phone off because all I'm hearing ding, 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 ding.
So after launching a YouTube funnel successfully and hiring
a YouTube funnel, yeah, we're definitely talking about like MLMs and shit here. They realized I was not gonna do what they wanted me to do.
And then it just continued to explode. So I went from 0. Now I've got about 41. Hold on one second. Just let me check.
And they're not going to show up, right? They're not going to be in here at 6 o'clock.
It's insane.
Just join Create and Monetize, bro. Like, seriously. Just join it, man.
Otavio especially.
I'm trying. You won't let me.
All three. Otavio Harrison.
Let me in. I feel like
they were really
Eric Andre. Let me
involved. Like more so than I thought.
Since signing up in the
light one up, tip them. I love it. Like it's 6 o'clock. They're gonna pop in. I'm gonna be hitting the bong.
We turned over.
Let's start this meeting off right.
Which is insane.
Why? Because you gave me a system, and the system works. Matter of fact, it works too damn good. I mean, I gotta turn my darn phone off because all I'm hearing ding, 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 ding.
So after launching a YouTube funnel successfully,
they're not going to show up.
Hiring my first closer in the first.
I was here early.
With my closer,
I was professional about it.
$180,000 profit.
And then it just continued to explode. So I went from 0. Now I've got about 41. Hold on one second. Just let me check.
Well, see, here's the thing. The reason why I wouldn't match up with this guy.
It's insane.
Just join Create and Monetize, bro. Like
I'm not making content to make money.
Otavio especially. You know,
I'm making content because I like it.
Axel,
I like what I'm doing,
really,
and then hoping that the money comes because I'm good at what I do.
Since signing up in the first,
that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for people that want to game the system.
We turned over just about $20,000, which is insane.
Why? Because you gave me a system, and the system works. Matter of fact, it works too damn good.
It works too damn good.
I mean, I gotta turn my darn phone off because all I'm hearing.
I was at least gonna pitch, hey, you could work with me on editing. I can edit videos for you.
Hiring my first closer in the first month of launch.
They're not gonna show up. It's 6:01.
Made $180,000
How unprofessional.
Profit.
And then it just continued to explode. So I went from 0. Now I've got.
I'm in the room, bro. Come on.
41. Hold on one second. Just let me check. 41.2 thousand followers. It's insane.
Just join Create and Monetize, bro. Like
They have sent me
just join
so
it.
many emails too. That was one of the things that they promised not to do.
But all three, Otavia, Harris, and Axel, they were really involved. Like more so than I thought.
Since signing up in the first 31 days.
Funny you should mention that, my lord. Check this out. Fucking Windows Media Player sucks. I had DJ Dub make a bunch of AI chill music for me, so I would have copyright-free music to put under this video, which is 10 hours of police chases that you can watch and fall asleep to. I think I came up with a brilliant idea, and this video is going to make me bank. DJ Dub did an amazing job. I can't thank him enough for the tracks that he provided me. And now I also have it's like 2 hours of copyright-free music he made for me. I went and got the helicopter sound, so you've got some white noise. I think I'm gonna make some bank from this video. And then I'm gonna take, because I had to record, for 10 hours of police chase footage, I've had to record. I've got like 18 at this moment. I'll still have to record like another 10. I've left it on while I'm asleep and let it record a couple different nights. I'm gonna do like the top 10 police chases of all time, and I've already got like the top 10 in my head. I already know the top 10. I think that video will do gangbusters. Minty, welcome in. Alien, my lord, Oregon gal. Oh no, I think a 10-hour video that people put on while they're asleep, ads play while they're asleep. This is the best way to make fucking money. There's like so many ad slots in the 10-hour video. It could easily make me thousands of dollars. But it's going to be one of those slow burn things. It's probably going to make me thousands of dollars over years. The one where they steal like 3 different vehicles, including a milk truck. The one where they're in the desert and they circle around and the dude steals the cop car and then runs away. The one where they block everybody in. Like the cops have, I think it's a woman. She's in an SUV or something like that. They block her in, and I have to go back and find this. I don't think it happened in LA. I think it happened in Utah or Arizona or some shit. But they block her in. And one of the cops goes, and I don't even know what they're doing. They just pull their vehicle back. I guess they're going to pull around in a different place. And when they pull the vehicle back, just like that one cop car pulls back, and she just zips right out. And then adds another 20 minutes to the chase. That's one of my favorites. Because it was like a slow speed chase. And we thought it had come to an end, and dumbass cop. And me watching it, I'm just in complete shock that the cop was dumb enough, which the cop being dumb enough, really, to just back up and let the suspect out. Silent, welcome in. Torgy, now that you're here, we should totally get high. If you wanted to see the meeting with me and the content guru that was going to take over my YouTube channel and make me a star. That's apparently not happening anymore. They canceled on me at the last minute. And one would assume they sat down before the meeting. They had like 10, 15 minutes laid out where they can kind of do their background. Because that's what I do. Like, I make sure everybody sent me all their shit that I need. And then, like, I look at it 15 minutes before I'm going to talk to you so it's fresh when I'm scheduling a meeting with clients. So that's probably what they did. And they got on they might have even seen that I was live. But then again, I think they sent it before I went live. I mean, this all happened. I don't think they could have seen that I was live yet. Yeah, they sent the email 20 minutes ago. That would have been 47. So yeah, I wasn't live yet. But maybe they went, because if you go to my channel, like the 2 scheduled lives are going to be right there at the top. I know, my lord. I know what you're talking about. That's the reason why cops justified having militarized vehicles. And the Bearcats and everything. I was really looking forward to talking to Harris. He's not emailed me back. I don't have a phone number for him. They didn't join the meeting. Man, I can't believe Harris snubbed me. They've sent me so many emails. What a waste of my time. They made a Loom video to send me. Well, let me tell you guys or show you guys what I'm talking about. Not the one. One 1-800-CARS for kids. Oh, I didn't see the I didn't even look at the Reddit link. I was trying to show you the Loom video he sent me. After, like, it was a well done video.
FREAKIN. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this quick video, and I apologize about not having my camera on, but basically this video right here randomly came up on my suggested page and I liked it, so I decided to record this quick video for you. And I
was gonna ask him, what did you like about my Alex Jones video? Did you know what it was about? What was going on inside of that video? Did you actually watch it? That was gonna be my first question. And that's probably, like, they knew that was probably going to be my first question, so they did actually watch my content, and that's when they're like, uh-oh, we need to cancel with this guy.
When I turned it on, my camera wasn't working, so I apologize about that. But I've got your socials open here, and oh yes, let me go ahead and actually subscribe here. I like what you're doing with the channel.
Well, thank you.
I asked my colleague to reach out for you.
Santa Sex Sting, Stolen Valor, 9/11 Imam, Russian prostitutes, no, Russian hookers. Yeah, that pretty much sums my channel up. It's actually a really good summation. And also in that thumbnail with Nancy Mace, you probably can't see it very well, but the Nancy Mace with Corey Mills, it kind of looks like she's giving him a handy. I did not do that on purpose. That was just a happy accident. So they send mass emails to YouTube creators with unrealistic promises. They send a personalized looking video. It's actually mass produced. I can see that. They claim it's success-based fee model. That's why he couldn't turn on his camera. After you respond, they pitch a discovery call. They promise you'll earn it back in months. I think they'll just buy bot subscribers, which will get removed at the end. Probably. Man, I was going to get some content out of it, though. That makes me really sad. Yeah, no email back. They actually took a look at my channel and realized who I was and was like, oh shit, we getting ready to get got. Which, I mean, I gotta say, the Loom video worked on me. You can see it in real time on my face. I'm like, huh. But you know what, when people are in a state where they're, you know, I don't want to say desperation, but you know, like I've been working hard. I would like to see some success. When you promise somebody something like that, they are more apt to believe it because they want to believe it. That's why scams take advantage of people who are in less than ideal circumstances. At least we can learn something. You gave them your pin. I guess I can, but it would have been a lot better if I had gotten somebody on the video. It would have been if I could have talked to Harris. That would have been really good. What do you guys think? Do you think that they thought, well, you didn't really miss anything, Thread? Do you think so? They canceled on me at the last minute at what did I say? 5:47. The call was supposed to be at 6. So I'm wondering, because like when I'm with a client, I sit down like 15 minutes beforehand to review everything. Did they do that and they popped on my YouTube and they saw that I was going live right when the call was scheduled? Did they decide to back out? Ponder Monkey. The Jones, did I tell you good evening? I didn't give Thread a proper good evening. I didn't make it a clip. You'd have to actually like sit down and watch my shit. And if they did watch my shit, they might have thought I was good enough to talk to. I don't know that they saw me talk about them, and I don't even know, was it last night? It was not before last, wasn't it? Because I don't think I could schedule the call the next day. It was the day after. But you don't know. You always watch my show in the middle of the night the next morning drunk as shit, so you don't know. Love you, Thread. Good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad you showed up for the live because you were expecting the call. Yeah, I need to get high. We need to get to the news. Tried a new gummy and forgot you were left-handed. What am I donating my car? I don't have a car. I would donate a car if I had a car. Right, for those kids. I hate kids. What are you talking about? I edited the video of that woman trying to mow that kid down on a bike for like the first thing I say, like within the first seconds of the video, is like, now I hate kids. It's just 40 miles an hour is that kid on a sidewalk. Yeah, cars for kiddies. I could get on board with that. Maynard, would you drive a car? You would, wouldn't you? Maynard be driving over here. All right, let's get to the news. It's fucked up. The king, I guess it's kind of like when a debutante's coming out or something like that. They're unveiling the new government in Britain. And this is what it looks like when like they unveil the new government and all the pomp and circumstance.
King Charles III has delivered the government's proposal for the next legislative session in a pomp and circumstance-filled ceremony.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Parliament. Now, the only question is whether or not this is going to last, given that Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Man, those kids are creepy. What the fuck? What is that?
Is going to last, given that Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government is a bit teetering at the moment, kind of on the edge. The issue here is that the local elections last week were absolutely disastrous for Labour. And not surprisingly, a lot of people in the Labour Party are blaming the Prime Minister for this, saying he's out of ideas and that he's got nothing fresh to offer voters. So his position is really precarious. I mean, even before the speech was read this morning, Wes Streeting, a primary candidate to take over the job of Prime Minister, had a coffee meeting with the Prime Minister.
A coffee meeting. Holiday says, I'd look creepy too if I was just raped by somebody dressed like the Royals. You can't, yeah, Holiday called it. Look at that kid. That is a kid that was just traumatized by a dude in a powdered wig. Fucking shit. All the gold, and like I thought Donald Trump's gold looked gaudy. Garish. Garish is what that is. The kids are haunted. I'm certain of it. They're touched. I mean, in all seriousness, they probably are inbred. They're little kids they keep in cages that they inbred. They're in the basement of the castle. They just bring them out to dress them up as weird playthings during ceremonial shit. Better than outbred. Oh my god. The Prime Minister Keir Starmer hanging on for his dear political life. This was his speech earlier today.
Their response is always the same, a desperate attempt to get back to a status quo that failed working people, decimated their public services, and made them pay the price. Our response this time must and will be different, a complete break. We will not simply slump back to the old ways, because this King's speech gives us the strength we need, the economic security, energy security, and national security to control our future in a chaotic world. It is an agenda of radical reform across our major public services, an urgent activist Labour government that tilts power back to workers, renters, and the less fortunate.
This is a highly unusual moment. The Prime Minister is in office, but not in power. Everyone is trying to pretend.
Ooh, what a line.
It's not all right. In the past 48 hours, nearly 100 Labour MPs have called for the Prime Minister to resign. 4 ministers have quit. It is clear his authority has gone, and that he will not be able to deliver what little there is in this King's Speech.
Luckily says we're all not high enough for this shit. The King. Okay. I did not bore you with any of the King's speech. We watched his speech before Congress the other day. Just because it's only the second time a British... This is the first time a king spoke in front of Congress. It's only the second time a royal spoke in front of Congress. The first being the Queen. Well, I guess that doesn't narrow it down, does it? Queen Elizabeth, the one that just died. She was the queen for like 80 years. Still no Harris in my inbox. Hey, fuck you, Harris. How dare you? Of course not. Of course Bovert didn't call me back. No GOP mommies call me. And that was another thing. I'd even thought about it. I was like, well, Harris, I have 2 objectives. The first one being, do you know who Congressman Dan Crenshaw is? He only has one eye. And under that eye patch, there's this thing called an eye pussy. If you can help me achieve that objective, we're 50% there. Maybe you've got people that can organize a gang. Perhaps you help hold them down for me. I don't know. It's not a sexual thing, Torchy. It's a dominant thing. It's like marking my territory. Is that a sexual thing? See, you went glory eye hole. You went sexual with it. It's not a sexual. It's like a territorial pissing. You can piss away, friend. Libertad, if you hold him down for me, I'll let you scat in his eye. Libertad is, and like, I don't know why Libertad always going to scat. I'm a little grossed out by it, but I asked about scat on the video I did where the school board member called the kid hot. It was like, is there any scat? And I was like, dude, what? And amazing comeback on me. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how sensitive you lot are. Is there any cat? And I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of cat. Yes. I love cats. I mean, I guess like I'm pro pooping because you gotta do it. Everybody poops. How did we...
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
We were talking about Parliament. Did I play? Yeah, I played the Starmer clip. You guys started talking about shit. Poo-poo songs. It's like you were summoned. Jesus. I love you too, Poo Poo Sama. I hope you're doing well, friend. Good to see you. Jeremy Corbyn lays out what's going on with the UK government.
It's a coup that's been mounted against Starmer, and he should know about them because he was there when the coup was mounted against me. If Starmer decides to contest the leadership between him and Streeting, it will be a pretty poor choice. I think the Labour Party's ship has frankly sailed. I'm sad to say that, but I do.
Jeremy Corbyn, we are looking at potentially the fall of Keir Starmer. This must be very upsetting for you, as he was your... I can't even say it seriously.
It is desperately upsetting for me, but I'm coping.
He's coping.
He was your protege, no? He ran on a ticket that was Corbyn politics. And they have been proven not to work, apparently.
Well, he claimed to be following the policies that we'd put into the two manifestos of 17 and 19, and he rather bizarrely claimed that I was one of his best friends. It was, I must say, it was news to me, and it was news to all of my other friends, but there you go. We always allow a bit of imagination in politics, don't we? And the real issue...
I love this guy. He's so good.
...has not delivered on working class living standards. It has not delivered on public ownership of water and key services like that. And even the rail public ownership is a pretty botched affair. And it's also pursued international policies that are catastrophic and devastating, including supplying the weapons to enable Israel's genocide against the Palestinians.
And that's something you're going to raise later, isn't it, in a speech? But so I'll come back to it. But just sticking on Starmer, do you think that it's Starmerism and the politics that this Labour Party has pursued that has failed? Or do you think it is
cheerio.
him as a person?
Hey, as a politician was willing to say the Israeli genocide on the Palestinians.
It is largely the policies, but it is partly the personality, because he's somebody that seems uncomfortable talking to the public, uncomfortable doing open-air public meetings in town centres and things. In fact, I can't remember him ever doing one. It is the politics of management by him, coupled with an agenda which is simply a managerial agenda. And it doesn't work, because it doesn't excite or enthuse anybody. And even when the government does something broadly right, like bringing in the renters bill, it misses the whole point behind it, which is rent control as well as protection of tenants. Of course
How much of what he is saying is analogous to what is going on here in the United States? Just imagine this was Bernie Sanders criticizing look, we listened to James O'Brien last night, and it was almost like he was criticizing Joe Biden.
The protection of tenants. But if you don't control the level of rent that's paid, you're not actually really helping them in the living standards crisis that they're going through.
Looking at what could potentially happen tomorrow, if we work on the hypothetical that Wes Streeting is going to launch a challenge to Keir Starmer, and we again work on the hypothetical that he will be coronated because there may not be a challenger, do you think his politics could turn the party around, or do you think that could be another death knell for the Labour Party?
Well, it's a coup that's being mounted against Starmer, and he should know about them because he was there when the coup was mounted against me. Our response in 2016 was to say, OK, let's have a leadership contest. And we went out, campaigned all over the country, and won with more votes than we'd won with the year before. I don't think he's going to do that at all. If Starmer decides to contest the leadership between him and Streeting, it will be a pretty poor choice of politics. Either you've got the politics of allowing Palantir and the private sector into the NHS, or the politics of the managerialism of Starmer. It won't be a very exciting leadership.
Yeah, we don't talk about Palantir and
all conjecture.
All these tech companies getting
know what Streeting.
That's my fault. I don't talk about it.
If he
I'm
decides
the one
to
doing
run,
the show.
Then it could be that Starmer will just say, "Okay, that's it. I'm off." I don't know. I can't really tell, but it's not as if the public are going to be involved in this. This will be a vote of Labour members. And it is really a bit odd, isn't it, that less than 2 years into a government that came in with a huge parliamentary majority, albeit on a very low vote, that the whole thing has collapsed now, less than 2 years in, when the opportunities they had and still have to do so much is good. And today, the King's speech is full of caveats and vagaries. So it doesn't say, for example, that the water companies are going to be taken to task and dealt with. It says there's going to be yet another round of regulation. Well, we've had 30 years of regulation. And we've had an increasing level of sewage in our rivers and streams ever since. We need public ownership, we need public control of the water industry, as well as others.
Yes.
And that's what you would have pursued.
Absolutely.
I agree with Corbin. All right, are you guys ready for this one? Vagaries, not vagrants. Parkour, welcome in, my friend. Ponder Monkey, did I tell you good evening? Clinically. Did I miss anybody? Cicero. Holiday. I hope I end up telling everybody good evening twice. Maybe I'll just start doing that. Just constantly tell people good evening. They hit the content warning. But this is probably going to be really funny. As I'm thinking about what this video is going to look like, I'm assuming like I'm playing the Benny Hill music in my head. So the ICC issued an arrest warrant for a senator in the Philippines. Yesterday, they attempted to arrest this senator inside of a hotel. This is the footage inside of the hotel. Law enforcement chasing a senator for the country. They're running apparently up the stairs to get away from international law enforcement trying to arrest the senator. You see what I'm talking about? A Filipino senator. I'm assuming this is crimes against humanity, war crimes that this man is accused of, considering it's the International Criminal Court.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Pinapasadyos ko lang yung sitwasyon namin sa PNP. Gusto ko kung sino talagang in or out sa drug business.
I have no idea. The New York Post did not put subtitles. I'm assuming this is the senator. Bato. Oh, this is just the introduction to the story, by the way, guys. Like, this isn't even the main course of this one. Let's see if the New York Post gives us a rundown here. It shows Philippine law enforcement running down hallways and stairs, casing Senator Ronald De La Rosa. On May 11th, Philippine Senator De La Rosa was placed under Senate protection after reports emerged that the ICC had issued an arrest warrant tied to Rodrigo Duterte's deadly war on drugs. The former police chief, accused of helping oversee thousands of killings, could soon join Duterte in facing crimes against humanity charges in The Hague. So this was their initial attempt last night at a hotel. To apprehend De La Rosa. You can see him, he's the bald guy right there. Running up the stairs. He trips and falls. He's got a whole entourage right on his ass. Well, that was quite the escape. I assume we just locked the door. So that brings us to today inside the Philippine Senate, where there's apparently a gun battle as authorities yet again tried to apprehend Senator Ronald De La Rosa. Wild scenes inside of Philippine Senate. You can see his bald head in the back of the elevator.
Okay, Cheryl and Julius, this is becoming weirder by the minute. We don't know bakit kami nandito sa dulo nito. Hindi ko alam, baka meron, hindi ko alam na meron palang... Ay! Oh my God! Oh my God! May nagpaputok! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Sir?
This is inside the Philippine Senate. They are awfully calm.
Nandito tayo ngayon. Nakarinig tayo na. Oh my God. Sinidisperse kami. Sinidisperse kami. Tapos, pagkaroon ng putukan. What's happening? Mga kapatid.
Troops have been deployed after a politician wanted for the International Criminal Court urged supporters to mobilize and thwart his imminent arrest. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. called for calm and said no government personnel were involved in the incident. There were no immediate reports of casualties. We'll get to the bottom of this, Marcos said in a message. Was this encounter part of destabilization? We will need to know. Senator Ronald De La Rosa, a 64-year-old former police chief and main enforcer of ex-Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody war on drugs, had hours earlier urged people to turn out to block his arrest and hand over to the ICC. Marcos said no instruction had been given to apprehend him. The Hague-based court on Monday unsealed an arrest warrant for De La Rosa, dated November, on charges of crimes against humanity, the same that 81-year-old Duterte is accused of as he awaits trial in the ICC following his transfer last year. De La Rosa, who officials said was safe, has denied involvement in any illegal killings in the anti-drug crackdown during Duterte's 2016 to 2022 presidency. De La Rosa says, I am appealing to you. I hope you can help me. Do not allow another Filipino to be brought to The Hague. De La Rosa said in a video on Facebook from his Senate office where he has taken refuge since Monday when placed under legislative protection. Reuters journalists later heard more than a dozen shots ring out at the Senate as those inside scrambled for cover. Senate Secretary Mark Landro Mendoza said people he believed to be agents of the Justice Ministry's National Bureau of Investigation had attempted to enter the Senate and fired shots as they retreated. The Senate was heavily guarded throughout Wednesday with security staff wearing flak jackets and carrying rifles and police deployed as protesters gathered, some calling for the arrest of De La Rosa, better known as Bato, or Rock. He's the Rock. Moments before the gunshots, more than 10 Marines in camouflage fatigues carrying assault rifles were seen arriving at the building. The detachment, the military said, had been requested by the Senate. De La Rosa, who returned to the Senate on Monday for the first time since disappearing from public view in November, has appealed to Marcos not to hand him over to the ICC. Panelists, welcome in, friend. Flo, good evening. Bragwitz, Quesadilla. Good to see you, friends. We're off to a wild start tonight. What? I kind of sound like Bill Clinton. But now I don't. Now that I was cognizantly trying to do it. I'm really high. Ooh, what's next? Oh, it's the couch fucker. JD Vance says blah 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 something Iran good.
Making progress. The fundamental question is, do we make enough progress that we satisfy the president's red line? And the red line is very simple. He needs to feel confident that we've put a number of protections in place such that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
When approaching the war with Iran, do you agree with the president's position that Americans' financial situations should not be a consideration in that decision-making process?
Well, I don't think the president said that. I think that's a misrepresentation of what the president said. But look, I agree with the president that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We're obviously engaged in a very aggressive and very engaged diplomatic process to try to ensure that that doesn't happen. And the president has a lot of options, as he said repeatedly. There are options diplomatically, there are options on the military side. But the fundamental goal here is the president wants to make the world safe, but particularly the American people
Literally
safe
what he said.
From Iran having a nuclear weapon.
I would be nothing but nice to Monica if she was on this show. Hell, I'd probably try to hit on Monica, to be honest with you. Monica's super cool in my book. Llama, Byronic, Princess Kimberly, Sports Cards. I don't even remember what he said. I would goon so fucking hard. You ain't seen me goon before. I have and will goon again to Monica Lewinsky. So a Russian. What is wrong with me? You guys are a bad influence. You bring out the worst, my worst instincts. You ag me on. Is it ag? Is it AG? Well, fuck you, pal. Is YouTube on? I haven't even seen anybody from YouTube. We had one person from Rumble one night and they were like, thanks for showing this. I hate YouTube. It's all like pussies and woke people. I haven't seen them since, but I do have a bit of a following on Rumble. A Fort Smella? I love you, Poo Poo Sama. Would you, like, okay, like, what would I need to do to get your parents to hang out with me holiday? Jones over there on YouTube, quesadilla. Oh, be radio friendly. Look, the very first time I did stand-up comedy, or no, maybe not the first time. It was the first time I was at this one theater. I mean, I was on the radio. I've done it before. And there was this girl, and she'd even talked about like how her dad was a preacher, and it was kind of like, because she was a little edgy. And then like I'm one of the last people to go up, and I'm doing a bit all about like how I need to convert to, I call it, I don't want to have to be your role model. It's about like how I want to convert to religion, and like I just can't commit to the bit, you know, because it would take 5, 10 years, maybe 6, 7 years of committing to the bit of doing the religious thing and becoming a preacher, because I can. No cursing. Oh my God. Thanks a lot. But to become a preacher and then just want to like get a whole following, be a televangelist, be on TV and shit, because that's the route I would go. And then just one day, like, fucking drop it on them. I don't believe any of this shit. I took you all for a ride. And her, like, Reverend Pastor Dad, whatever it was right in the front row. And he is, like, steam coming out of his ears while I'm doing this. I'm ordained clinically. Is it the Universal Life Church? Love those people. They are fantastic. That flow again. The GOP mommy thing is a bit I do. All of my ex-girlfriends were liberal, left, cool. I've actually never been with one that was a Republican, to be completely honest with you. Very much. A Russian ship carrying nuclear reactors. When I first saw the story, I thought it was a nuclear reactor. Apparently, it's multiple. It's more than one nuclear reactor. We have no idea where they were headed. And, like, did you even know it sank?
A mystery in the Mediterranean. The possible torpedoing of a Russian ship to stop the Kremlin handing submarine nuclear reactors to North Korea begins in a quiet Spanish port.
This really is the craziest of stories about a Russian shadow fleet ship that sank off the coast here in the strangest of circumstances, whose Russian captain confessed to investigators here that it was carrying 2 nuclear reactors, possibly for a submarine headed for an unknown destination. The wreckage of all of which the Russian military spent a huge amount of time and effort destroying.
The incident is shrouded in silence, but concerns the most serious of issues: weapons proliferation between 2 nuclear powers and force being used to stop it. The Ursa Major ship loaded up near St. Petersburg in early December 2024, on paper bound for Vladivostok, with a cargo of 2 huge cranes and over 100 empty containers. It made another stop, loading 2 large manhole covers. You can see them in blue here, along with 2 white pill-shaped objects, which will later prove important. It set sail, a shadow fleet ship used by Russia in Syria. The Portuguese Navy followed it from above. You can see the blue covers here, until just before it ran into trouble in Spanish waters.
It was way further out to sea when the Ursa Major, on the 22nd of December 2024, suddenly slowed, and Spanish rescuers noticed this and they radioed to ask if anything was wrong. The ship insisted it was fine and could deal with the situation.
But about 24 hours later, it made a sharp deviation and issued an urgent call for help. The boat was listing, this video shows, filmed from a nearby tanker, but probably not going to sink too fast. The captain of the ship later told investigators he'd seen a 50 centimetre by 50 centimetre hole in the hull, the damaged metal facing inwards, a source close to the investigation said. The captain said it had been followed by 3 explosions on the starboard side of the boat, killing 2 of his crew.
So the Russian military arrive in force and they tell everyone to stay 2 nautical miles away from their ship, the Ursa Major. But the Spanish know they need to conduct rescue operations, so they send this ship to pick up 14 Russian survivors who were brought back here, and that includes the Russian captain, who it seems starts to help investigators piece together some of what's happened. But it's hours later that day that the mood changes over the Ursa Major ship, and the Russian military fire flares over it, and then a series of explosions follow, which Spanish seismic sensors picked up, and they send the ship to the seabed floor.
Moscow demanded their crew back too fast, but it didn't happen immediately.
Spanish rescuers brought the 14 Russian surviving crew to this hotel, and it's here where the Russian captain started telling investigators key information. Now, there's been near silence from the Spanish government about this incident, but they recently released this statement confirming that the Russian captain confessed here to investigators his ship was carrying 2 nuclear reactors, probably meant for submarine use. And he also said he simply wasn't sure if those reactors had fuel in them.
There's no evidence of any contamination. The captain also told investigators he thought he would not stop first at Vladivostok, but instead be told to divert to the North Korean port of Rason, according to the investigation source. That could explain why the extra cranes were needed to help lift the reactors safely. Russia was in North Korea's debt at that time. Kim Jong-un had 2 months earlier sent troops to help Russia's invasion of Ukraine, leaving analysts curious as to what the Kremlin had given him in return. In December 2025, North Korea would claim to have built this, their first nuclear-powered submarine. The Spanish investigation surmised a likely reactor would be
Looks like it was made out of clay.
VM4SG, shown in a Russian submarine here on state TV. Its dimensions are not public, but CNN analysis shows reactor vessels match the shape of at least one of the white objects seen in St. Petersburg's container port on December the 4th, both gone by December the 11th, when the ship had left.
If these reactors have come out of decommissioned submarines, then they will be radioactive, although obviously not as much as if they were fully loaded with fuel.
How incredibly rare is this kind of transfer of technology? This is quite serious stuff,
It
right?
is very. It's not something that's undertaken lightly, and it's only something that's ever done between very close allies.
So it's a major move by Moscow
Absolutely.
to decide to do this.
Very, very.
Troubling?
Potentially, yes, particularly if you're South Korea.
Everything may have been on the bottom of the sea, but the Russians weren't done yet. And according to a source familiar with the investigation, about a week after the incident, a Russian research vessel called the Yantar, linked in the past to all sorts of allegations against Moscow, sat over the wreckage for about 5 days, and 4 more explosions followed, possibly the Russians destroying what was left of the wreckage.
In the months after, the US may have shown interest in the site.
That's not shady at all.
Rare WC-135R Constant Phoenix, usually secretly sniffing out traces of nuclear activity in Russia's Arctic or over Iran, over the path of the Ursa Major, weaving low at 5,000 feet. One had flown a similar route 13 months earlier, perhaps suggesting its routine. The aircraft's US base declined to provide any details. Spanish lawmakers have urgently sought answers, but got few.
Cuando alguien no te dice claramente y no te da la información claramente y extensa de lo que pides, por lo menos.
I got around the no profanity by playing a very interesting vehicle. Or very interesting video. Very interesting video. I'm really high. When someone doesn't clearly and fully provide the
No te
information
dice claramente y no te da la información
that you
claramente y
request,
extensa
you at
de lo
least
que pides,
suspect
por
that
lo
they are
menos
hiding something.
sospechas que te está escondiendo algo, por supuesto que
Of
sí.
course.
La caja negra
We've been
nos han
told that the
dicho
black box
que
sank
se ha
with the
hundido con el
vessel
barco, que
and
está a
is at
2.500 metros
a
de
depth
de
of
profundidad, y
2,500
que
meters, and that
la
due to the high
operación
risk of the
hace,
operation, it's
por su alto
impossible to
riesgo,
recover.
imposible. Entonces, yo
I think
creo que
someone,
la caja negra
someone has the black box, but we
la
don't
tiene
know
alguien,
whether it's
pero claro, no sabemos si es el
Spain
gobierno de
or the
España o
Russians
los propios
themselves who
rusos
have
que la
located it.
han localizado, ¿no?
So why did the ship sink? The Spanish investigation said the first impact was likely from a projectile called a supercavitating torpedo that fires air in front of itself to reach very high speed. Others point to something simpler.
The hole in the hull that the captain talked about, 0.5 metre by 0.5 metre. What could make something like that?
From the description I've seen, and the description you've given, that hole to me sounds like a limpet mine. It sounds like a shaped charge explosive that was placed against the hull by somebody or something and detonated.
Show him a limpet mine.
The Russian owners immediately called the sinking a targeted terrorist attack. They, the Russian, Spanish and British militaries, did not reply to a request for comment, and the Pentagon declined to. There are few Western militaries operating there, capable of noticing, tracking and stopping a cargo like this. All sides, it seems, happy for this secret to stay on the sea floor.
Well, how do you guys feel about the world after hearing that story? Russia was trying to send nuclear reactors to North Korea, but was too incompetent to do it. And they sunk the ship to cover it up. They accidentally hit a mine somewhere. Kensai, welcome in. Is that what, do we think that they accidentally hit a mine, or did somebody purposely try to hit that ship? You think sabotage? Listen, all y'all, it's sabotage. We have a case of hantavirus in Illinois, not connected to the cruise ship. So that's fun.
A possible hantavirus case in Illinois. The state's public health department says it's not linked to last month's cruise ship outbreak. So far, only one American passenger from that cruise has tested positive with no symptoms. Another cruise ship passenger with mild symptoms has tested negative, and the other 16 U.S. passengers are also showing no symptoms. Let's bring ABC's Aika Jachi and ABC medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel for more on this. So, Ike, walk us through this possible case in Illinois and why they're saying there's no connection to the cruise ship.
Yeah, Diane, the key thing here about this Illinois case is what you just said. It is not connected to this cruise ship at all. Illinois health officials say they're investigating a possible hantavirus case in a Winnebago County resident who never traveled internationally and has not had any contact with anyone tied to that cruise ship. Now, officials believe this person may have been exposed while cleaning a home where rodent droppings were present. They had mild symptoms, did not need to be hospitalized. They're recovering. The CDC, they're now doing confirmation testing, and that can actually take up to 10 days. And most importantly here, this is believed to be the North American strain, not the Andes strain that is on that cruise ship. North American hantavirus strains, they're not really known to spread person to person, and Illinois health officials say that the risk to residents there still remains low.
Dr. Patel, how common are hantavirus cases in the U.S. in general?
They're pretty rare. Since surveillance started in around 1993, there's been something about 900 cases we've at least documented. So you're thinking about 30 per year. And as I mentioned, these are usually from very close contact with rodent droppings. People who are cleaning out homes, they don't realize that they're in the facility of that. They can develop symptoms later. But again, very rare, usually in the Southwest, spread by deer mice. And again, this is dead-end transmission. So if you get hantavirus, you're not passing it on to somebody else.
Deer mice? Is that like a cat dog?
Different than the Andes strain. So it's important that people just separate the two. We're talking about hantavirus, but two different scenarios.
Deer mice.
Andes strain, you need to be worried about Andes strain if you were on that cruise ship or if you were in close contact with someone who was exposed. But for everyone else, just pay attention to any rodent droppings you might come in contact with and wear protective gear if you have to.
So on that point, let's go back now to the cruise ship passengers being monitored and the other people who had close contact with the cruise ship passenger. Where does that stand?
Yeah, right now health officials are in that tracing. They're essentially expanding this wider and wider. Health officials, they're doing in-depth interviews with the passengers to map out who they had close contact with. And we're reporting right now,
.000%
they're actually being monitored right now after possible exposures during travel. Now, for those U.S. passengers, here are the numbers right now. 16
of a global pandemic.
Nebraska Medical Center, 15 are
localized clusters.
One person tested positive in that biocontainment unit, and those 2 other Americans, one who were showing symptoms, that couple, they've been sent to Atlanta for further assessment and care. And the plan right now for all of these individuals are daily symptom checks, continued contact tracing, and then deciding case by case
indication that it is mutated,
monitoring, or those who can actually go up and finish those 42 days monitoring on the road.
Spanish
so Dr. Patel, for this person who tested positive but has no symptoms, what do you do in a case like that?
Continue to do serial testing, and people might remember some of this from COVID, when you are essentially looking at symptoms and then looking to see if the body mounts an antibody response to then test positive, depending on how you're testing, which is part of the reason why the incubation period is so critical, with up to 8 weeks needed to actually mount these symptoms, followed that by testing, and that's essentially how they're going to determine if people are safe. And this even matters if somebody doesn't have symptoms and they're testing positive, also to look to see if there's a match there as well. But that's why serial testing and looking at that response is so critical.
All right, Dr. Patel, Ika Jachi, thank you both.
Thank you.
4 people in Washington State are being monitored after being exposed to hantavirus.
While the risk to the public remains low, Seattle and King County Public Health says 3 King County residents were potentially exposed to the Andes type of hantavirus. Sean Chitness is live this morning at the airport where some of those exposed likely traveled through while returning home. Sean, good morning. What is the latest?
Aaron, good morning. Well, we're checking in with the CDC to see if we can learn more about the travel routes of these 3 King County residents, both how they got abroad as
His name is Shitness. I didn't make it up. His name is Chitness. Sean Chitness. I get too much pleasure out of these things.
Can learn more about the travel routes of these 3 King County residents, both how they got abroad as well as their journey to come back to the U.S. Right now, what we can learn from public health officials for Seattle and King County are some of the details around how they were potentially exposed. There are the 2 local residents who were on a plane near a sick passenger who was on that cruise ship with the outbreak. That sick passenger was removed from that plane before takeoff and then later tested positive. So those 2 King County residents who were on the plane with that other passenger have returned home and don't have any symptoms. Public health staff are working with them to monitor their symptoms at home here in King County. A 3rd resident was on that cruise ship as a passenger, the one that had the outbreak. Now that resident doesn't have any symptoms either, but they're being monitored in Nebraska at the National Quarantine Center.
They had them strapped in like they were
passengers. So we can understand.
They got arrested. They got a spit hood on them and
County
shit.
Health are acknowledging the concern the community
That's
may
not a way
have
to treat a
from
patient.
The hantavirus.
This is a deadly virus, so I can certainly understand why it may be a fear-inducing situation. And I know for many of us, it may bring back memories from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Now, the situation is quite different from COVID-19 so far. Infections are rare with this virus, but they can be severe. It's spread primarily from contact with wild rodents. Health officials know much more about hantavirus already than they did about COVID at the start of the pandemic as well. Now, the only
hantavirus has been around for a while.
that can spread from person to person is the Andes virus, which typically requires prolonged close contact with a person who is sick with that same type of virus. So again, public health officials want to remind everyone that the risk right now is low. There are no cases of the virus in King County, and we don't know of anyone in King County who is showing any symptoms.
Well, that's good to know. So King County, that is Seattle. He kept comparing it to COVID, which might happen to be our next story. We had a CIA whistleblower, James Erdman III. He testified in front of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee about the intelligence community's efforts to cover up the origins of COVID.
I'm a career CIA operations officer, and as you mentioned, I was on joint duty assignment at the Office of Director National Intelligence Directors Initiatives Group, or the DIG, between March 2025
he was on the DIG
and April 2026. I was responsible for leading the DIG's investigation into COVID origins,
we have
anomalous
withdrawn
health
from the World
incidents,
Health
and
Organization.
unidentified anomalous phenomena. I'm here today to discuss the COVID cover-up, the national security implications associated with the DIG's investigative findings, and CIA refusal to comply with lawful oversight, as well as how we remedy these problems.
This dude smelled a fart.
Intelligence community leaders and senior analysts downplayed the possibility that the COVID pandemic originated as a result of a lab incident. Motives are difficult to define given the scope of the DIG's review. Intentional or not, the IC's actions resulted in a cover-up, wasted resources, and a failure to properly inform policymakers. Public health policy would have been very different had the American public been made aware that a virus from a lab in China was going to serve as the foundation for an emergency use authorization mRNA products being mandated by the former administration. Dr. Fauci's role in the cover-up was intentional. Dr. Fauci influenced the analytical process and findings by leveraging his position to ensure the IC consulted with a conflicted list of curated subject matter experts, public health officials, and scientists. This includes...
Just to be clear, there is still no evidence whatsoever for a lab leak, and the leading theory on the origins of COVID is still zoonotic, a spillover from an animal, and there's nothing to indicate that that wasn't the case. But I mean, it's possible, but it requires evidence.
Included some of the authors of the paper, The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2, and other public health experts who have been in his orbit for the last 20 plus years. Some of the scientists were part of the
Pangolins did nothing wrong
experts group, or the BSEG, an office of Director National Intelligence Advisory Body, whose members often receive considerable funding from NIAID and public health agencies. The BSEG scientists influenced national laboratory WMD research, policy decisions, finished analysis, and other intelligence
WMD
matters, creating misaligned incentives and conflicts of interest, as well as counterintelligence issues. Since 2006, the BSEG consulted part-time on biodefense issues for the IC, while conducting government-funded research and holding academia positions, as well as maintaining roles in public health institutions and serving as members in the National Academy of Science. They receive funding from NIAID and other agencies for vaccine research, USAID's PREDICT project, the Cooperative Threat Reduction Program, and even worked with Chinese scientists on coronavirus and other pathogen studies pursuing vaccines.
Yeah, that's what these scientist eggheads do. You just described their job.
Monitoring how this web of relationships influenced research, policy, and public health in any holistic way.
Hey,
For over 20
look
years.
at Senator Joni Ernst there.
In fact, several of the BSEG scientists helped Dr. Fauci rewrite definitions of gain of function in
Novel hot.
2015 to lift a funding pause
Suicide,
on dangerous
welcome in.
research. Still others participated in planning Event 201 in 2019.
I know, he's
This
definitely
was a
got resting
coronavirus
bitch
pandemic
face.
tabletop exercise, curiously
He was
similar to
CIA,
the events
Lenny.
that played out during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was attended by Dr. Fauci and individuals with IC ties like former DNI Avril Haines. The CIA
Wait, what Avril
and
Lavigne
DNI
do?
analytic managers responsible for examining
He
the
invented punk
origin of
music.
COVID made decisions inconsistent with the conclusions of subject matter experts and analytical tradecraft, consistently favoring the theory of zoonosis or natural origin. Following the CIA's COVID relook that culminated in 2023, the CIA retaliated against analysts supporting the lab leak hypothesis. CIA analysts were not bribed. The analysts that supported the 2023 lab leak conclusion took every administrative measure available to them to address their deep concerns regarding the analytic integrity of their finished intelligence. CIA managers retaliated against them for their refusal to agree with management's middle-of-the-night anonymous rewrite of the analysis, which changed the assessment to a non-call judgment. Dr. Anthony Fauci's influence over the IC's COVID origin analysis and the witting and unwitting role some BSEG scientists and IC personnel play.
So what it sounds like is they had a few quacks at the CIA who were really wanting to red bait China. They had a hard on and they were overruled by management because the majority of them thought it was zoonotic, I guess. I don't know. And like, it's not the CIA's job to make that judgment, I don't think.
Played in the cover-up exposed why this issue is of deep concern. Failure to address the United States government's inability to differentiate between public health and biodefense and the oversight-resistant ecosystem of life science actors has been fertile ground for increasingly dangerous continental United States gain-of-function research, as well as similar research conducted in U.S. government-supported labs abroad. Post-9/11 changes in public health and biodefense roles and responsibilities have blurred the lines between scientists, the military, the intelligence community. It has resulted in a deliberately opaque and excessively redundant biodefense research policy and financial infrastructure, seemingly intended to escalate.
Yeah, the best I can tell, his complaint is that there was a minority that thought this was some sort of bioweapon engineered in a lab, but they were the minority, and the management went with the majority opinion of the agents. Did I get that correct? Chat, am I off on that one? That seemed to be exactly what he described. And now he's just throwing a fit like, we weren't listened to.
Bureaucratic bloat. This is a national security crisis caused by the inability to provide real oversight. The systematic failures associated with muddled boundaries between biodefense and public health and an overly complex infrastructure have been exacerbated by
The last
documented
thing I wanted was the
efforts to
CIA
circumvent
involved
oversight.
in this shit.
CIA did not comply with lawful oversight during the Diggs investigation. The behavior significantly impacted Director Gabbard's implementation of several EOs issued during this administration and tasked to the dig. The CIA refused to provide information necessary to understand why analytical standards at the CIA were violated. The CIA illegally monitored the computer and phone usage of dig personnel, their investigations, and contact with whistleblowers. These were Americans being spied upon illegally while executing duties directed by the president and under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence. One CIA contractor assisting with the Diggs investigation into the events that transpired between 2022 and 2023 was fired by the CIA one day after meeting with the dig. When the dig ceased operation.
So now I think his complaint is that when you're doing work for the CIA listens in on you. And that that one just seems obvious to me.
The CIA also took back 40 boxes of JFK files and MK Ultra files being processed for declassification by DNI Gabbard. The legislative and executive branches will continue to be misinformed if this type of behavior is not addressed. The partial solution to dangerous gain of function has already been laid out in Executive Order 14292, improving the safety and security of biological research. We need a comprehensive review of government-funded life science research and a move back to pre-9/11 definitions of gain of function and WMD research, particularly in the IC and DHS. More broadly, we need effective oversight. We must hold agencies responsible for failure to comply with Executive Order 14292, and oversight must have teeth. You must be willing to pull the purse strings, and if necessary, convene another church committee. The results of our...
Grandpa looked like an old lady.
The results of our investigation...
He's gonna cry.
...would have been impossible without whistleblowers willing to come forward. They are indispensable agents for reform. Despite statutory law, agency regulation, and training requirements, whistleblowers are almost never protected. Whistleblower protections always seem to protect the agency. Every time the CIA investigates itself, they coincidentally find no wrongdoing.
Oh, I'm sure.
When they do identify issues, they hold the system responsible. That last statement is a verbatim response from a Europe and Eurasia Mission Center lawyer when the CIA Office of Inspector General did identify shortcomings so serious, oversight bodies were holding meetings about it 3 years after the events transpired. It was in response to the question, was anyone held accountable? Apparently the system is good enough. The only way we solve this issue is with real accountability for failure to comply with executive and legislative branch oversight and an escape valve where whistleblowers can continue to contribute to mission free from retaliation.
This is supposed to be a bombshell.
All IG elements need to be removed from the agencies and fall under a separate entity controlled by the IC Inspector General. The personnel in IG elements should be 1811 certified with regular DOJ and legislative oversight reporting responsibilities.
Rand Paul took the opportunity to rant about Dr. Fauci, though. That happened. Llama as Ducky. Lenny, to tell you good evening. DJ Dub. Stoicide. I think you get 2 good evenings tonight. Welcome in, friends. Rand Paul ranting about Dr. Fauci.
Is it your testimony that there is still resistance from the CIA to comply with the law we passed to declassify all the COVID information?
Yes.
One of the things that I think is new today that I'm hearing from your testimony is that from an early period of time, you believe, and the information you're aware of, is that CIA scientists from an early time after the pandemic began, 2020, 2021,
CIA scientists?
The lab leak was the most likely hypothesis.
Yes, Senator. I'd like to offer some qualifications.
Hold on. Who in the fuck is the Barbie doll sitting right behind him? Is she real, or is that Rand Paul's sex doll? That can't be a real person.
Oh
God, it's blinking.
The information you're aware of is that CIA scientists from an early time after the pandemic began, 2020, 2021, were
realistic
concluding that
looking
the
robot.
lab leak was the most likely hypothesis.
Yes, Senator. I'd like to offer some qualifications on that as well. A lot of the issues occurred at the interagency space, at the National Intelligence Council, the individuals responsible for conducting or writing WMD analysis. So, and many of those individuals are on JDA from the CIA. But yes, very early, as early as 2020, there were agencies within the IC circulating papers that that said, hey, there's,
Vegan who? I
for
wish
example,
we did that
DOE
here.
circulated a paper in May of 2020
Welcome
that
in,
said
friend.
that all the conditions were present for a lab leak. And I could go through the timeline, but yes, my short answer is yes, periodically throughout 2020 all the way to 2024. Yes.
I think the arguments, pro and con for what is the evidence on whether this came from a lab or it came from nature are still important. So for years, we've been asking the CIA to produce the scientists, either in a classified setting or a public setting, to discuss the arguments. I don't see any reason why the arguments should be classified. One of the arguments that's made publicly is that the source looks like it came from a single source of RNA, not like 5 different types of viruses or 20 different types like you had with SARS 2003, but it came from one source. And virtually everybody argues that sort of indicates a lab and not a nature. And so those arguments are important scientific arguments to have, but we've been prevented from having them. We've been preventing from getting all of the declassified information. But what I think is of importance that's new today is that your testimony is that the CIA scientists were concluding that it was lab, but then with this, there was a 90-day study in 2021, and this study was done by NIC, led by NIC. Tell us what NIC is again.
It's the National Intelligence Council, and individuals responsible for writing various WMD and bio-related issues led that.
So when they had this study, they had CIA scientists telling them, look, the evidence, the scientific evidence looks like it came from the lab. But then they brought in Anthony Fauci. And is it your opinion that Anthony Fauci was able to overrule the scientist or get NIC to conclude somehow that there wasn't a conclusion to be had here, we're going to be neutral, contradicting what the scientists were telling them?
So there's 2 questions there, and I want to break them up into 2. One is, where were the injection points, Dr. Anthony Fauci? Where did Dr. Anthony Fauci and when did he inject himself into the IC? And the other half of that question, if I'm, and I don't want to extrapolate too much here, is okay, what happened with why was there a change in analysis? So I'll start with if it's okay, Dr. Paul.
Sure.
Senator, I'll start with Dr. Anthony Fauci. There were two instances.
Dr. Paul, he's an eye doctor.
And 4 June 2021. Anthony
Not to
Fauci
demean
had
eye
contact
doctors,
with
I'm
the
sorry.
interagency. And how to sort of
I need to see an eye
generalize
doctor.
this is that contact was happily pursued within the IC. They wanted that contact. And he provided a curated list of subject matter experts, which coincidentally wrote the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2. So it's not like he came in and said, you have to do X, Y, and Z. He provided recommendations. It's when you look at what has already been publicly released about Dr. Fauci, and then what you're seeing under the curtain at the IC, where you realize, okay, there is a narrative that was being generated by his contact, not just with experts here in the United States, but experts in Australia and the UK. And that's the public-facing piece. And, you know, he had tried to sort of keep his hands clear of, hey, I didn't have anything to do with the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2. But in the meantime, he's pushing those authors and individuals that have been in his orbit into the IC as experts. And I'll jump to June 2021. We as the IC at the NIC happily pursued those recommendations. And in one email, which I'll describe to you, the person in charge of leading the 90-day study, he introduced himself to the community that on what they were supposed to be doing, and then the community said, listen, we've got these people we should be talking to, and another very senior NIC officer sent a direct email to him saying, hey, considering that Dr. Fauci is a public health expert, are you sure we should be relying on this? Shouldn't we have a separate set? And in this instance, the individual responded, no. In this case, Dr.
I want to know who these CIA scientists are.
However, that's directly contradicting his public testimony of being a subject matter
Part of the job in intelligence when you interview someone is assessing their truthfulness, their potential biases or conflicts of interest. Did anyone ever bring up that Anthony Fauci approved the research that went on in Wuhan and that it might not be in his interest for the conclusion to be that it came from a lab that he funded, that there might be a conflict? Did anybody ever bring up that he might not be an objective witness?
That was one example of an email. No one laid it out quite that clearly. You're piecing it together. We were piecing it together from multiple emails, from multiple agencies, multiple documents. It was more subtle than that. Nobody said this is happening, and unfortunately, I think they probably should have. It was all out there.
But your conclusion is that changing from the scientific consensus of it being from a lab to a neutral position by the CIA was significantly influenced by Anthony Fauci?
It was significantly influenced by Anthony Fauci's injecting himself into the IC. And to go to the second part of your question,
means
about
it came
what
in
happened, particularly during the 90-day study, we have documentation that shows that
he should be arrested for assault.
The CIA was considering calling this a lab leak, August 12th of 2021. And then that changed on August 17th of 2021. Right. And unfortunately, because the CIA would not provide us documentation that we asked for, we have no idea why that changed. And that's
And they
sort
weren't
of
alone
essential.
because we know the FBI was coming to the same conclusion that it was lab leak as well as the FBI.
The FBI as well as the FBI. I'm this old. Welcome in. Let's talk about the reflecting pool. Have you guys seen it since the remodeling has started? The lawsuit is apparently trying to put a stop to the remodel that the Trump administration is saying is urgent due to the 250th anniversary, the semi-quincentennial.
Efforts are underway to stop a controversial project at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. I wanted to show you new video. You can see crews working inside the drain pool with equipment on site and the blue paint now covering part of the basin. Preservation Group has now filed a complaint challenging the project, saying construction moved forward without the required review process for a historic landmark.
what we don't know, because we haven't tested it, is what happens when you start to change those colors. What happens when you introduce new materials against the historic materials that are there now?
For now, President Trump is still pushing ahead with this project.
This is highly sophisticated stuff, but I said, get me the heavy duty industrialized, and it's thick. It's amazing, actually amazing stuff. It'll be good.
So they were wanting the reflecting pool to look pristine and like crisp blue, like it's in Hawaii or some shit. So they're gonna paint the bottom of it blue. I was under the impression that there was a no-bid contract and that nobody knows who the contractor is that's doing this.
For 50 years, probably.
He went on to say the project could be complete as soon as this week.
Congressman Neguse asked Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum is the Interior Secretary. About the renovations on the reflecting pool.
Chair, and I recognize this gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Neguse, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here today. I want to start first with a letter that myself and Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado wrote to your agency on April 29th. This was a letter of April 29th of this year in regards to the historically low snowpack that we're experiencing, as you know, in the Rocky Mountain West, including in Colorado. Obviously, very concerned about the wildfire season that's upon us. The letter makes a number of requests around pre-positioning assets, extending federal contracts for aerial resources. I would just ask for your commitment to respond to that letter, if you might be willing to make that commitment.
Yeah, absolutely, and appreciate your attention to this. We are facing a potentially dangerous situation with the low water levels in the Colorado River Basin relative to wildfire, and that's why, again, we appreciate all the support we can get from you in unifying the new U.S. Wildland Firefighting Group. That's going to allow us to have essentially a joint chiefs of staff that can make the command and control decisions that you're asking us to look at.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And we look forward to your response on that front. I want to follow up on a point that the ranking member referenced. This is in regards to a decision that your agency made last year in December. As you know, removing the 2 federal holidays that honor Black history from the free entrance day list for the National Park Service. You're familiar with that decision?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay. I believe those 2 days, by the way, are Martin Luther King Day, as you know, and Juneteenth. It's my view that Juneteenth provides all citizens with an opportunity to really recommit ourselves, renew our commitment to equality. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess part of my confusion about why, given your agreement on that front, given the fact that as governor, you proclaimed Juneteenth back in North Dakota several years ago, why you would now allow the agency, or I presume you were involved in that decision, to remove those 2 holidays from the list. It just strikes me that that is not consistent with the view that you just articulated. And I would urge the National Park Service to reverse that decision. I think it is short-sighted, and I don't think it's in the best interest of the country. I recognize my colleagues disagree with me on the other side of the aisle, perhaps some of them, but that's my view. I want to ask you about one last topic.
Can I just say, I want to make sure on that,
Sure.
topic that we understand that no one is changing these holidays, the holiday designation, whatever. There was an ability to choose free days, and part of that was, where do we space the free days? Where do we put them? Do they match up against weekends?
Yeah, but Mr. Secretary,
and again, trying to get more of those days into the summer months when we have higher visitation.
I hear you. At the same time, I think you could understand how
it was Juneteenth.
Many Americans would perceive a decision by your department to remove Martin Luther King Day as a free entrance day, the National Park Service. I just, at the end of the day, again, we'll have to agree to disagree on that front, but I will move on. Are you familiar with Atlantic Industrial Coatings?
I'm not familiar with that.
So Atlantic Industrial Coatings is a company. Are you familiar with that company?
You're saying Atlantic?
Atlantic Industrial Coatings, correct? Are you familiar with it, or?
I'm not familiar with Atlantic.
Okay, Atlantic Industrial Coatings is the company that received a no-bid federal contract for the project at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Are you familiar with that now?
I'm familiar with that project, yes.
But not the company?
I wasn't familiar with that specific name of the company.
Okay. You're familiar with the fact that a company received a no-bid contract to do the work on that project, correct?
I'm familiar that we're working on a project to restore the reflecting pool before the summer season with record attendance, yes.
Yes, and that was through a no-bid $13 million contract, right? That's not up for debate. That's a fact.
I'm positive that we followed all of the required bidding rules. So you're emphasizing the word no bid like something nefarious has happened.
Okay, then
I reject
explain
that
it to me.
thesis.
Here, I'll ask you the question.
They did it on an emergency
My
order.
understanding of the federal procurement rules is that a no-bid contract is reserved for situations where, quote, any delay would cause serious injury to the government. What is your proposition is what? That there'd be serious injury to the government if this company didn't get the $13 million contract to do this particular project right now?
Motherfuckers, I could have painted the bottom of that pool for... I could have done it for like $700. And then pocketed at least, you could have gave it to me for $1 million. I'll do it for $700 and then pocket the rest of the money. Like, come the fuck on. It's just some blue paint on the bottom. $13 million.
Well, I think we do have a sense of urgency. I mean, we got handed a record amount of deferred maintenance. We had 19 fountains across the city that didn't work.
That's
82
the
homeless
serious
sites,
injury
1,000
to the government? The serious injury to the government?
Well, I suppose a lawyer could decide that, but I think that maybe all of us could agree that we would want to have our nation's capital looking great for the 250th. I mean, this is a common sense decision.
I would say, just last question, who picked this company? Because President Trump, a few months ago, in a New York Times article said, I have a guy who's unbelievable at doing swimming pools. He looked at it, he called me up, he said, sir, we can do something on it. Last night, he posted on Truth Social, also, I did not give out the contract, Interior did, to a contractor I did not know and have never used before. So Interior, he's talking about you. Did you give this $13 million no-bid contract to this company that's never done business with the federal government before?
The gentleman's time has expired.
I think the Secretary can answer the question.
The gentleman that you're talking about that has done construction work regarding pools and fountains for President Trump is not part of this contract. He's just a citizen that cared about it and offered some free advice. There's nothing there in terms of any dollars flowing to anybody that worked for President Trump.
Who picked this company? That's what I'm getting at.
The National Park Service and the leaders on the National Mall are the ones that picked it. They went through the process, picked the person that was best, and part of their selection process was picking somebody who had the capability to complete the project in a time frame and in a budget that would actually fix the problem. I mean, there are past presidents that have worked on this thing. It's been shut for 2 years. Read the article. There was $38 million spent on this between 2010 and 2012, and it was never fixed. I mean, this is
we're going to move on, and some of these questions, if you want to refer or answer them in writing when there's more time.
Well, there you have it. Doug Burgum on the reflecting pool. Ron DeSantis, Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis, announcing today that they will not have the opportunity to put me in alligator Alcatraz. Fucking fascists. They're gonna be closing that bitch down.
And now
to the latest on the migrant detention facility in the heart of the Florida Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz.
Governor Ron DeSantis today speaking about that after a New York Times report saying that the controversial detention center will shut down soon. Our Christian De La Rosa live now in our newsroom with new reaction from the governor today. Christian.
Nicole, Calvin, it could be a matter of days, and all this is happening, of course, against the backdrop of mounting criticism.
It could be a mutter.
Denouncing the facility for inhumane conditions for the 1,400 migrants being detained there, and the ongoing legal battle for environmental groups also denouncing the harm done to the Everglades.
Do you want some illegal alien from Guatemala who has molested kids to be released back in your community?
Florida Governor Ron
Guatemala?
DeSantis defending the move to open and run the facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, despite the cost to Florida taxpayers. The governor adding he has not heard directly from the feds, but not denying New York Times reporting Florida and the federal government have been in talks about closing the facility for good. The detention center in the middle of the Everglades is reportedly costing Florida taxpayers $1 million a day.
Insane.
It's money state officials have long said the federal government will reimburse, but has not, at least not yet. And now there's new reporting.
$1 million a day.
Pays to run the facility are claiming they have not gotten paid. One vendor confirming to Local 10 News they've been told operations could shut down as soon as June 1st.
I wouldn't want to be involved in this business at all. I mean, if the federal government, if they control the border and the people here illegally, they handle.
It shouldn't be a business. Incarcerating people should not be a business. It should be like an absolute last resort that we only use for the worst among us and do as humanely as possibly. There should be no business of incarcerating people, you sick fuck.
If they could do that with no state support, all the better. Now, I can tell you last summer they had no chance to do that without state support. And even today, we have all the 287G agreements.
Florida Senate Democratic leader Lori Berman of Palm Beach responding to the situation, saying, "I'm happy to hear reports of its impending closure, but the damage to Florida has already been done. This kind of reckless leadership from a rogue executive branch needs to be left in the past, and we need a return to a single-minded focus on making Florida more affordable for everyone. Damaging political stunts like this one have no place in our politics." So where will the 1,400 migrants go? How much will that cost? Who will pay for that? Clearly a developing situation. Keep it here for the latest.
They sunk like 360 million plus into that place. Insanity. I'm not high enough for this shit. Are you guys high enough? I was looking to see if we were making the transition to crime stories yet, and we're not. We got more politics to go through. I gotta take a short break. Smoke up before we continue. Yeah, how many migrants disappeared from it? We should deport DeSantis. Anonymously, did I tell you good evening? I'm touched you think of me and send me songs. I'm sorry I don't respond. Or start to listen to the song and then get distracted by something else and didn't actually finish it. Because that is what has happened this afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry it wasn't sooner. My apologies. You've been here a while. Always a pleasure to see you. Literally a FEMA camp. Well, I hadn't yet. I didn't respond to you personally. That's kind of rude of me. Quesadilla, did I tell you good evening? Ironic. Now we can get back to it. in the past, I have said that Representative Virginia Fox can be my GOP mommy. Apparently she's really mean to 10-year-olds, so that's a point in her column. Looking like she's already got a foot and a half in the grave. That's a point against her, though. But she apparently dressed down a 10-year-old. Representative Virginia Fox from North Carolina dressed down a 10-year-old who wrote a question to her representatives.
When Representative Fox attacked him and attacked his teachers and said that his teachers were indoctrinating him with propaganda, how do you even explain that to a 10-year-old?
You just heard from a furious Greensboro mom quoting what a North Carolina congresswoman wrote in a letter to her 10-year-old son, Christian Mango. He's a fourth grader at Canterbury School in North Greensboro. This is the Fox 8 10 o'clock news. I'm Katie Nordine.
And I'm Neil McNeil. After his teacher assigned his class to write a persuasive essay on a topic of his choice, Christian decided to write about why the federal government should provide tax rebates to those who buy electric vehicles. He then decided to mail a copy of his essay to North Carolina Republican Congresswoman Virginia Fox, whose 5th district stretches from the mountains to the northern suburbs of the Piedmont Triad, including the bulk of Greensboro.
Well, needless to say, Fox's response wasn't what Christian or his mom expected. Fox 8's Justin Lundy spoke with both of them.
The kid got a dressing down from like a 90-year-old lady about wokeness.
The language she used in her response.
Christian says he had to ask his mom to explain some of the words Representative Fox used because they were too advanced for his vocabulary, but he did say once his mother explained to him what Fox said, he was upset his teacher was targeted.
2038 is only 12 years away, and you and your classmates will be responsible for the debt.
A message from Republican North Carolina Congresswoman Virginia Fox that was sent to 10-year-old Christian Mango. Christian says certain words she said,
I could understand like half of it, not all of it.
His mother, Emily Mango, says the reply from Fox was in regards to an assignment from Christian's teacher at Canterbury School in Greensboro.
Christian and his class, they're in 4th grade, they wrote a persuasive essay of their choosing, and they mailed it off to a representative, a CEO, whoever the decision maker was that could be influential in hearing their persuasive essay points.
Christian says the topic he chose,
we should have a $5,000 tax rebate for electric cars because they're better than normal cars. They're better for the environment, you pay less, and there's no gas.
Christian says in April he mailed the essay to Fox in a Canterbury school envelope with 4th grade on the return address. A few weeks later, the school received...
And you expected the fossil fuel that's sitting in the congressional seat to respond any other way? Like...
This letter
She's a dinosaur herself.
Email. While the congresswoman thanked the 10-year-old for contacting her, she disagreed with his proposal. Fox cited 6 articles from news organizations such as Fox News and Wall Street Journal. But towards the end of her response, she attacked Christian's teacher.
Ask your teacher to explain propaganda to you, but I will never be able to know. My guess is that your teacher will not be able to give you a good educational experience by helping you to be able to think as they are too interested in indoctrinating you. How sad.
After Christian's mother explained to him what Fox's response meant, the 10-year-old says he's upset Fox went after his teacher when Christian was the one who chose the topic of his essay.
I think that was wrong.
And why?
Because the school didn't do anything.
Emily Mango slammed Fox's response on social media and is now demanding an apology.
When Representative Fox attacked him and attacked his teachers and said that his teachers were indoctrinating him with propaganda, how do you
They got the
explain
woke.
that to a 10-year-old in 4th grade? But it's just not okay. We told my son it's not an okay response. Nobody should talk to a child like that, and nobody should attack teachers like that. She crossed the line.
We reached out to Representative Fox's office about whether she wrote this response or someone else on her team did, and we also asked if she planned and apologized to Christian and his teachers for her remarks, and we're still waiting for a response.
Yeah, we've got no update.
Justin, thank you.
You're welcome.
Democratic North Carolina State Senator Michael Garrett, who represents District 27, which includes parts of Guilford County, including areas in and around Greensboro, shared a long posting on his Facebook page about Fox's response. It reads in part, "We are temporary custodians of these seats. We do not own them. They belong to the people. They belong to the kids in our classrooms. They belong to the boy who put a stamp on an envelope and trusted democracy to answer back. You do not slam the door on a child reaching for democracy. You hold it open, you kneel down, you answer. That is the whole, that is the job, that is the whole job."
That is the whole. That is the whole. That's what she said. Big Ben, welcome in. Do you guys remember a couple weeks ago when the whole Eric Swalwell thing was going on? And he had been staying at this billionaire's house. And then after the whole scandal broke, the billionaire kicked him out and went on TV and was like, "I don't condone his behavior. He's a bad person." Blah, 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 blah. You guys remember that? Well, that billionaire dude, he'd been arrested.
A former candidate for governor of California has been arrested. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell joins us now with what we're learning about the charges against Stephen Klubeck. Josh.
Stephen Klubeck.
Stephen Klubeck turned himself into the LA County Sheriff's Department at their West Hollywood station on Tuesday morning on a felony warrant for alleged violation of dissuading or intimidating a witness or a victim of a crime. Eyewitness News has learned that Klubeck was or still is romantically involved with a Los Angeles model named Adva Levi, who also goes by Mia Ventura. That is the same person we've been reporting on for months, who was accused of targeting older men on dating apps and then burglarizing their homes. According to the complaint, Klubeck attempted to prevent at least 2 alleged victims of Levi from testifying against her back in March. Now, back in March, the Los Angeles County District Attorney ordered Adva Levi to stand trial on 6 felony charges. District Attorney Nathan Hochman said her ability to deceptively influence others, whether in person or online, has now come to an end. Detectives say Levi extorted wealthy older men and younger women in Westlake Village, West Hollywood, Los Angeles, and Beverly Hills. They say she posed as a girlfriend or travel companion, then stole cash, credit cards, and high-end designer items. If convicted on all counts, Levi faces up to over 11 years in state prison. Now, Klubeck, he has been released after posting $300,000 bail. Philip?
Okay, Josh, thank you.
And he had the nerve to get on TV to talk about how I should have known. I should know when we were watching him. Like, there's something up with this dude. He's got skeletons in his closet. He's too... he's too eager to get out here and virtue signal. You know, Torchy, that's a great idea. Yeah, she was stealing from older men. Which, good on her. I'm like people ask me what I think about like Cardi B. I don't give a shit. She stole from some Johns. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. I'm sorry for this one. You guys are going to hate me. Oh my God, he's doing it again. Do you remember last week we watched the LA mayoral debate? We saw Spencer Pratt, the dude that was on the MTV reality show. He's now got all these crazy fucking ads running for mayor. Actually, I've got a new one. He dropped a new one. Let's watch that first. You guys are all like, oh, well, this isn't where I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to say something about Nancy Mace. Oh, also that Chud the Builder dude shot somebody. We're gonna have to cover that when we get to the crime section. I guess he was appearing in court for his arraignment for the story that we did last night. How much shit? What was I looking for? I don't even remember what I was looking for. What's this story about? Oh, Spencer Pratt. Sorry. Okay. Wait, are we talking about you guys are talking about the Chud the Builder? Not Chud the dude running for LA mayor? We got too many Chuds running around here. Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. This is the newest Spencer Pratt ad that he's dropped. He's been using AI to make ads about his opponent, Karen Bass.
I'm Karen Bass, and I'm running on my accomplishments.
Los Angeles on fire, mayor nowhere to be found.
We were so prepared for wildfires. I didn't even have to be in the country when the town burned.
I've addressed the homeless problem. Now, most of them won't stab you as long as you don't make eye contact. Our climate change policy is so strong, we've brought down energy use in the Palisades by 99%. Almost none of the needles in children's playgrounds have AIDS on them.
Almost none of the needles.
Like the last 4 years, you're going to love the next 4. Vote Bass. I'm Karen Bass, and I'm running on my accomplishments.
I mean, you gotta admit those are effective ads, but like, this is what AI slop is gonna be used for. Nancy Mace asked about Spencer Pratt.
Excuse me, how are you? I'm from TMZ DC.
Oh my God! Why? Why? Why?
Is that a good why?
Because she looks amazing.
You guys, are you credentialed now? You guys are
Hey!
Okay. So you guys can go to the Capitol, right?
We can.
Okay, that's good.
It's exciting.
What are you working on today?
Working on people like you.
Yeah.
We were at the White House earlier.
Okay.
We saw Trump depart.
Love that outfit.
Helicopter.
Going to China?
I think he was going to like, was it Alaska,
Asia.
Anchorage first?
Anchorage, yep, and then on over. That's where you stop to refuel.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your dad.
I'm wearing this is my dad's Citadel ring. He was the most decorated graduate.
I called and offered my condolences about her dad.
Carolina. So I'm wearing him with me right now. He's heavy on my heart.
That's very sweet. Is it sometimes hard to get back to work? Very important, time-consuming work when you're grieving?
Well, of course, for sure that burden, but I also have a huge responsibility. I mean, we've got a nation to save, a state to lead, and he's always on my heart and mind. I don't think I'll ever get over the loss. I don't think we get over the loss of our parents, but it's such a huge responsibility for me to take that weight and move our family forward and move my state forward in a responsible manner.
I can try to fill your hole.
That responsibility weighs heavily too in these days.
Could I ask you about Spencer Pratt?
Those AI videos are out of control. They're insane. I love them. And he has a point. I mean, his house was burned down and he wants to fix the city. And it's so broken and so dirty, and you've got these what appear to be communist socialists that are just running it into the ground. LA is a beautiful place. It could be so much more beautiful and cleaner, and people should get their homes back.
When I saw
been rebuilt.
When I saw Spencer on the debate stage,
Incredible.
I was like, man, that feels like Trump. Almost I see a similarity, almost like reality star, underestimated. Now he has the momentum. He's entertaining. He's got look who it is! Look who it is!
He's a great Marine.
I like him.
But also, you're seeing the Democrats team up because they've got a jungle primary. California's primaries are a little bit different. They're teaming up to try to take him out. I think he's got a real shot at it. I mean, it is organic. I mean, that kind of momentum, he's just come out of nowhere, and he's got the right message, and he's so knowledgeable. He knows why the reservoirs were drained. He knows why they didn't use the water while ambulances weren't there, or fire trucks, etc. He knows all of that, and the mayor has no answers for any of the questions at the debate. I thought it was pretty impressive. He did a great job.
Do you see a similarity between Spencer and the Prez?
Certainly in terms of being the guerrilla campaign warfare, coming in out of nowhere and just owning it and doing a great job. Yeah, I think they're very similar in that regard. And he speaks his mind, which is what Trump does. He doesn't pull any punches.
I speak my mind.
The ad with the cops and the
I came out of nowhere. You didn't see me coming the first time I called you.
punches. It's great.
No one can argue with that. His marketing campaign, those AI ads, are very effective.
Guerrilla ads, they're terrific.
And last thing, do you think now that experience and what your job and your past record is less important than sort of notoriety and fame? It feels like celebrities are taking over.
Well, I mean, he has experience. His house burned down and wasn't able to build it back.
His house burned down.
He was in a trailer, so he's got plenty of experience for what life is like in LA. I mean, we have a former bartender.
It's his parents' house, by the way. It's still a tragedy.
He's no experience, and it's pretty emblematic for a record.
And he's also been staying at an upscale hotel and not that
I'd
trailer.
say she's quite an effective politician.
Hey, this is Congresswoman Nancy Mace, proudly serving the Lowcountry, South Carolina's 1st Congressional District. We're eager to serve you, so to talk to a member of our staff, our office hours are 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you'd like to leave a message and have someone call you back, please do so now. Thank you and have a great day.
Hey, Congresswoman Mace, this is Justin FREAKIN. I just wanted to ask you, what does Spencer Pratt have that I don't have? I speak my mind. You didn't see me coming the first time I called your office, now did you? I just watched your interview with TMZ a few minutes ago here on the stream. You're live on the Troll Patrol right now. I would really like the opportunity to try to impress you. I think I'm a much better orator and personality than Spencer Pratt. I can even make AI videos if that would impress you. So give me a call back. The number is 917-830-4359. Really like you to be my GOP mommy. I once again, condolences for your father. I know you said you feel empty without him, and I can totally fill your hole. So talk to you soon, Congresswoman Mace. I'll be shocked if she turns you down. Oh, I forgot to say she looks amazing. Like, look at that outfit. Damn, Nancy. I just get better looking with age. I honestly do think she looks. Where were we at on the list? I would like if she responded to me, if she made some video where she's like, I've got this guy stalking me. But like, it's never going to happen. She's never going to acknowledge me. Princess Kimberly, I don't know that I told you good evening. Another reason I will... She might get a warrant on me or something. You never know. I'll make AI videos for her if she wants me to. I can. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at, like, I've used it to, you can't tell where I use it, right? Because like most of my shit I make from scratch and like, but sometimes I need some stock footage and it's $50 to purchase the stock footage I need. And I'm like, I just get the first frame and the last frame and then tell the AI what I want. And it's been amazing. It's been better than some of the stock footage I've gotten. So sorry. And like every time I'm doing it, I'm like, it's sucking out the water from this small town. I have Adobe, so I have Firefly, but it uses all of them. I can use any of them that I like, Nano, Banano, or whatever. I don't need to promote it. I'm just telling you guys because you're my friends. I've made some thumbnails with AI. It didn't do what I want it to do for the longest time, and now I'm getting good at it doing what I want it to do, so it's become helpful. Do I have one I can show you real fast? Oh, where's the police chases one? Oh, there we go. There we go. Here's I put up the 10 hours of police chases. Like, fuck, that looks really good. Are they paying me for this? No, I'm not being paid for this. I'm being honest with you guys about the little flourishes of AI that you may see on my channel, and not to fret. I'm still going to do everything from scratch, but like, this looks really good. It did it in the background for me. There's your good looking thumbnail. On my parade of stories that give you reasons not to fly on a plane, there was a plane crash off the coast of Melbourne last night, yesterday.
Passengers recovering after a plane crash in the Atlantic. I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, and right now we're outside Holmes Regional Medical Center, where a hospital spokesperson tells us 10 patients were taken. And before that, the U.S. Coast Guard flew them ashore, landing at nearby Melbourne Airport. The Melbourne Orlando International Airport releasing this video showing us a U.S. Coast Guard rescue aircraft landing on Tuesday. News 6 also got a hold of this video showing flashing lights as first responders covered the tarmac. In it, you can also see an ambulance leaving the scene. The FAA says a Beechcraft BE-30 departed Tuesday morning from Marsh Harbor Airport in the Bahamas en route to Grand Bahama International Airport. The U.S. Coast Guard said it then launched a C-27 aircraft to begin a search for the downed plane and any possible survivors at around noon. The Coast Guard says they found the downed plane about 80 miles off the coast of Melbourne, adding all 11 people on board the aircraft were accounted for and are being brought to EMS for further evaluation. Brevard County Fire Rescue says they were called in to assist the Coast Guard's recovery operation and transported 11 people to nearby hospitals, adding they were all foreign nationals. And a hospital spokesperson says they can't give any updates as for the condition of any of the patients that were taken here. And the FAA says the cause for the crash is still under investigation. In Melbourne, Troy,
I don't think it was a small plane, was it? I don't know. I didn't hear the story. I had to refill my drink. Was that Google Gemini? Do you know by like the artwork? Because like I've used Firefly, I've used Gemini, and like I feel like Gemini is better for thumbnails. Again, DJ Dub hooked me up with like fucking 2 hours of copyright-free music for that 10 hours of police chases, and it turned out so fucking good. You should, DJ Dub. "10 hours of police chases to fall asleep to with chill music." That's the thumbnail. 10 hours of police chases to fall asleep to with chill music. Oh, there it is. It is 10 hours of police chases. All kinds of police chases. I put the helicopter sound as a white noise. You guys have no idea how popular police chase content is. I absolutely think people will put this on as they sleep. He get you? Hey, nerd. Hey, nerd. No, I haven't packed one yet, but I can. I can get it packed. Oh, are you going to bed? Okay, good night. I mean, you can smoke with me if you want to. It doesn't premiere. I didn't put a premiere on it. It just goes live on Thursday evening. You're supposed to give days, or you're supposed to give things like 2 days for the algorithm to know who to feed it to. That's we're taking a short break before we do crime content, which it's a lighter kind of crime content for my show. I don't think we have any murders. Well, we have a dude that gets hooked in an escalator, and video of just people walking past him before he dies. Oh, I shouldn't laugh about that. That's horrible. DJ Dub, it's the cop stories, it's the crazy videos and shit. That's what does really well. The like lesser covered fucking crazy videos I show on this channel. That's what fucking does gangbusters for me on the short content. Oh, and we know how that bike got up on that traffic light now. Thank you, Holiday, for alerting me to that. I did not see it in time for yesterday's show, but I've got it on the list over here. I am not responsible for you ending up in a hot tub chick. I can't imagine. Well, I might have gooned out to somebody. That's possible. I might have raided into a girl with big tits. That happens from time to time. It's usually whatever I'm doing. So if I'm doing music or something, like we'll go to Ollie, or if I'm doing TV, we go to VC Archives. Light one up, tip one back. I rated into this one girl, like she's had like 3 different breast enhancement surgeries. She's like a G cup or something. Because of course I did. But I mean, she was like a smaller streamer. She had like 20 people on. I had 20 people with me. It was like it wasn't like, you know, I rated some big streamer with my like 7 people. Was it some big hot tub stream? I hear the cats when they... Bleh, bleh, bleh. All right, let's get into the crime section of the show. We don't have a lot tonight. Elderly man. Oh, I guess I should hit the content warning for this. Elderly man caught in an escalator. Sees people walk by him as he is snatched up, ends up dying. Tragic story.
I'd like to find out where they were. To lose my son because nobody was doing their job, I'd like to know why. Because it infuriates me.
Tonight, an exclusive from our NBC 10 investigators. A Boston family is searching for answers and demanding accountability from the MBTA. They want to know how their loved one died after he was trapped at the bottom of an escalator inside a Somerville T station. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colton Bradford.
And I'm Priscilla Casper. NBC 10 investigator Ryan Kath obtained video of this incident and spoke with family members about their loss. Ryan.
And Priscilla, the video you're about to see might be difficult to watch. It shows crucial minutes passed before anyone alerted first responders. The footage also reveals the public had plenty of opportunities to step in and possibly save his life.
You're watching surveillance video from the MBTA's Davis station in Somerville. The person riding the escalator is Stephen McCluskey. These are the final moments of the 40-year-old's life.
The fact that his...
Oh, he's only 40. I called him elderly.
...or avoided, and it wasn't. I want to know why.
Shannon Flaherty is Stephen's younger sister. Mary is his mom. Together, they sat down with us inside their family home in South Boston to talk about the talented carpenter and father of 2 boys.
He loved building things, loved his children, loved being a dad.
I mean, he's a carpenter. There's the possibility he could always resurrect. Of course, he said Jesus.
But in recent years, they described how Stephen was struggling.
He was dealing with addiction. You know, he did his best every single day to show up for the people that he loved in the ways that he could.
Just before 5 a.m. on February 27th, Stephen stepped on the escalator and headed toward the subway platform. But at the bottom, watch as Stephen loses his balance and falls. He would never get back up. The family remembers getting the call from the hospital.
What's going through your mind?
I pretty much froze. You can't describe it. There's just no words.
Going through my head that whole time was just like, am I going to see my brother again?
All they knew was there had been a horrific accident involving an escalator. They had no idea of what unfolded in the video you're about to see.
I can only imagine there were so many questions going through your head.
Well, I just don't understand why nobody would help. Like, nobody would stop. Where was security? Where were the red coats that are supposed to be on all the floors from the time it opens to the time it closes? How does a busy train station and nobody stop? Nobody see him?
It turns out plenty of people did see Stephen that morning. Less than a minute after he fell, a passenger spots him from the top of the escalator, and then after taking the stairs, looks like he briefly tries to help Stephen before continuing to the subway gates. You then see Stephen flailing his legs as he tries to free himself. A steady procession line of T-riders follows, with some people briefly staring at the person at the bottom of the moving escalator, others barely giving a glance as they stroll by. A larger group reverses course on the escalator before gathering around Stephen at the bottom, with one pulling on his legs. Roughly 18 minutes after he fell, a 911 call the NBC 10 investigators obtained finally alerts first responders.
He's at the bottom of the down escalator.
And is the escalator moving?
Yes, he's laid out flat down with his head on the bottom step. I can't even tell. I saw him when I was getting at the top of the escalator.
More than 22 minutes had passed by the time a T-worker appears on the screen, walks up and presses the emergency stop button.
I don't find that acceptable. That's way too long.
Robert Cotton is an escalator expert with 4 decades of experience. He used to oversee the equipment for the public transit system in the Bay Area of California.
They have to have the highest standard of care. They breach that duty. They have a duty to maintain that. If somebody had knowledge of it, that should have been acted upon immediately.
In a statement, the T called the incident a terrible accident and told us MBTA personnel respond swiftly to all emergencies and do everything they can to assist individuals and secure the situation. When first responders arrived, they found Stephen without a pulse and his clothing pulled tight, cutting off the airway in his throat. They also discovered the skin from his back had been pulled into the escalator, and at one point thought the machine would have to be dismantled just to free Stephen. A half hour after responding to the station, EMS workers finally carried Stephen.
Oh my God, pulled his skin into the escalator. Ugh. Ooh, what a horrible way to die. That's what I was wondering. He was actually strangled by his clothing. It was pulled into the escalator. God damn.
Out on a stretcher and loaded him into an ambulance. An NBC 10 photojournalist captured the departure to Mass General Hospital, where Stephen would pass away 10 days later.
I would like to see.
I would too.
Marion Shannon had never seen the video of Stephen's final moments
long enough to
for this interview.
Suffer for 10 days.
They just walk by.
The footage difficult to comprehend.
I just can't believe it.
And I want to make sure that, there's somebody or something held accountable for the fact that my brother wasn't protected in a public space.
But beyond getting answers from the T, the family feels a broader sense of purpose for speaking about their tragic loss.
Why is it so important for you that people know about your son and that the public in general gets answers to how something like this happened?
Well, because he was a somebody. He had a life. We loved him. They treated him like he didn't exist. Nobody cared. Nobody stopped. Nobody took the time to help, to make sure he was okay. If somebody took that minute, he would be here today. So it's important that people realize that people belong to somebody else. And just 1 minute of your time could save that person. And nobody chose to do that.
Yeah, that was one of the most horrific stories I've ever heard.
So tonight, the big takeaway for the public is that these emergency stop buttons are prominently displayed. Anyone can push one of them if you see someone caught in an escalator. That could have made all the difference for Stephen. A spokesperson for the Middlesex DA's office confirmed there's an open investigation into exactly what happened, with investigators awaiting a ruling from the medical examiner on the cause and manner of death. We'll, of course, keep following this for you. Live in the studio tonight, Ryan Kath, NBC 10 Investigators.
Important story to share. Ryan, thank you.
So, Redland thought man was caught in the escalator, trapped for over 20 minutes as people walked by.
Some people briefly staring at the person at the bottom of the moving escalator, others barely giving a glance as they stroll by. A larger group reverses course on the escalator before gathering around Stephen at the bottom, with one pulling on his legs. Roughly 18 minutes after he fell, a 911 call the NBC 10 investigators obtained finally alerts first responders.
His back skin was inside of the escalator, and he didn't die immediately. He lived for like 10 more days. His clothing was choking him the entire time. "22 minutes in total before they freed him, or before they were able to hit the stop button." That is one of the most horrifying stories that I have ever heard. Edgewalker, welcome in. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like they took him off life support or something like that, because there was no chance of recovery. But man, that's horrific. Dragonfly tests. There's a name for the phenomenon, and people have told me it's not correct. Bystander effect. People have told me like that's bullshit. I don't know what to think, but apparently like people will walk by because they think somebody else must have, like, there's so many people here, somebody must have called the cops. Somebody must have called for help. Somebody must be on this. I did hit the content warning before that one, didn't I? A driver of a race car is facing assault charges, apparently. I thought he like got into a wreck on the track that was so bad he's getting charged with with the wreck, but apparently like there was an assault afterwards.
Incident on a racetrack. A McMinn County race car driver arrested after an incident at I-75 Raceway. According to the Tennessee Highway Patrol, troopers responded Saturday night after witnesses reported a possible assault during an event. Investigators say two race cars collided on the track and then later entered the pit area. Troopers say one driver, Gregory Martin, then drove into another car in the pits, smashing into it and injuring several pit crew members. Two crew members were taken to the hospital, including one with a large cut on their head. Martin claims brake failure caused the crash, but investigators say evidence says otherwise. Martin was arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault.
Warlord, good evening, my friend. I feel like you weren't here for all the British shit. We made a lot of British jokes. Once again, it was like the top story tonight. I compared the unveiling of your government to like a debutante. It's unveiled to the world. I don't want to do British news. Nobody wants to talk about your fucking king anymore. We already made our British jokes. We heard from Jeremy Corbyn. We're good. We want to talk about this massive wreck involving a truck and a big rig, don't we?
We do have breaking news at 11 a.m. Take a look at these live images. A bus, a big rig, a car, they all collide in Santa Clarita, injuring more than a dozen people. I'm Philip Palmer. Colleen is off. Let's go right to Scott Reif. He's overhead in Air 7. Scott, this is going to be a while to clean up.
Oh, it certainly is. There's no question about that. And it was a violent collision. Happened about 9:30 this morning, right at Golden Valley Road and Center Point Parkway.
This is Santa Clarita.
The set of doubles, the gravel truck slammed
Did you get caught in traffic this morning, thought?
3 other vehicles were involved. We had as many as 13 patients initially. 9 are transported to the hospital. 1 person had to be extricated. They are in critical condition. And boy,
always love the word extricated.
The major north-south thoroughfare to this area. You just about have to take Soledad to Bouquet to the west or all the way over to the 14. A lot of folks trying to get around in this industrial area. It just doesn't work. And we understand they're still waiting for
not making any trips to the industrial park.
Here, some oil and some fuel on the roadway. That's going to take some time to clear. So this is going to be here for several hours. I believe we also have some video, that we shot right when we got on scene. And boy, it was very chaotic. LA County Fire went to a major emergency. You can see all the equipment that initially responded. Once again, there were 13 patients, 9 transported, and unfortunately 1 person in critical condition. We'll come back out to the live
Big
shot.
Ben, did you get caught in
be here for hours,
traffic?
Late into the afternoon, probably.
I think he's really old,
Valley
Mama.
Road being shut down is a big deal for travel in this area of Santa Clarita. Philip?
The images there, Scott. I mean, the volume of weight.
Big Ben, how does it feel to have news from where you live?
We don't have fatalities
on my show like constantly.
Gonna watch this cleanup here. Okay, thanks, Scott, very much.
ABC 7 is probably my most played news channel. Maybe NBC News. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of people that live there. A lot of fun shit goes on. There's this cop, apparently, like, moonlighting as security at a Cub Foods. And he was stealing from the grocery store that he was working at.
Officer is accused of committing more than a dozen burglaries while remaining on paid leave for months. Prosecutors say the incident spanned 8 months at the Cub Foods in Bloomington near Lindale Avenue South and West 84th Street. Pilar Pedraza is working to learn how much he was paid while under investigation and what happens next. Pilar is live in Bloomington tonight.
Now, prosecutors say that he used the information he learned while working here as a loss prevention officer to move in after he started working as a police officer and steal things like protein powder and diapers. But what you guys are wondering is why
So he cased the joint as a loss prevention officer and then came back as a cop and stole from him. That's funny.
Protein powder and diapers. But what you guys are wondering is why he was spending so much time on paid leave.
Even police officers, just like average citizens, are entitled to due process and their constitutional rights.
Former Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek says it's normal to see a law enforcement agency put an officer on paid leave if there's an ongoing criminal investigation into that officer. That's what the St. Paul police did in the case of Officer Tommy Adams last November. Tuesday, prosecutors filed 14 felony charges of third-degree burglary against Adams. They say he used his knowledge of security at this Cub Foods in Bloomington, where he'd once worked as a loss prevention officer, to get in and steal items like vitamins, pre-workout supplements, protein bars, and diapers. Prosecutors say the burglaries happened from November 2024.
Oh, I thought this was Colorado. Yeah, this is Minnesota.
There was
DJ Dub.
Suspicion of criminal activity. To place the officer on paid administrative leave would be appropriate.
Stanek says that would prevent them from using their position.
DJ Dub also seeing a lot of stories from his hometown on the news.
But, you know, he's
on the Troll Patrol.
He's not guilty of anything. He's entitled to due process and let the allegations play out.
In a statement, the St. Paul police chief said Officers, like everyone else, must.
I guess you don't call it your
accountable for our
hometown,
actions.
though.
This starts by holding ourselves to the highest standards for our community, for our profession, and for this department. The department declined to tell us how much Adams has made while on paid leave, but did say he earned more than $129,000 last year. He's been on paid leave for almost 6 months.
It was
Something
still
Stanek
stealing
says may soon
from
change. Now
the grocery
prosecutors
store.
have filed charges.
The next day or two will probably determine whether or not he's placed on either unpaid administrative leave or maybe terminated from the agency.
And we are still trying to find out what those next steps will be for the St. Paul Police Department. We did try to speak with Officer Adams for this story, but we're not able to connect with him by phone or in person. If that changes, we'll let you know. I was able, though, to speak with some defense attorneys who told me that 6 months of paid leave for a case like this is pretty normal. Live from Bloomington, Pilar Pedraza, Eyewitness
Well,
News.
that's fucked up. It should not be normal. That's not okay. If you were with me on Sunday night, I played a video, and it was the aftermath of a wreck in British Columbia, Canada. And after that wreck, there was a motorcycle hanging from the traffic light. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. You guys may remember it. We now know how that motorcycle got up there. We can watch the video of it happening. Are you prepared for this one?
This must be a prank or AI. But it's real, all right. And now one of the most analyzed and talked about motorcycle crashes.
It's like, wow, that really happened, you know?
Moments before the collision, watch the middle of the intersection. A sedan is making a left-hand turn. Then a bike enters the frame. It's up on one wheel as the rider appears to hit the brakes before colliding with the car. Mike McDonald, instructor at V-Twin Motorcycle Riding School.
Oftentimes when something like this does happen, everybody's thinking, oh, is this rider okay? Do we know him?
Police say the rider was hurt, but is expected to survive. Now, we don't have all the details yet. Investigators will likely reconstruct the crash. We are told intersections are one of the most dangerous spots on the road for motorbikes.
Because we have risks coming from all different locations, both sides, in front of us, turns, all of those things.
Ryan Austin is also an instructor and retired police sergeant. He figures the forensic team will be looking at angles of contact. And because the bike left the ground, it might reveal how fast it was going based on throw distance.
It looked like it was going pretty fast.
Perspective, the officers doing the investigation still need to put all the pieces together to show that that video is actually valid.
The kind of car it was and the way the fender was shaped, and of course, you know, the front tire of a motorcycle being as rounded as it is, it was just a perfect storm, and geometry just kind of launched it up.
And since these images are so baffling and has people talking, they hope it reminds riders the importance of defensive training and drivers to stay alert as motorcycles see.
Oh, well, you're no fun, Edge.
St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Insane. I didn't know where to put this. I just stuck it in here. Apparently, this incident that happened with Emmanuel Macron and Bridget Macron was Bridget slapping Emmanuel for some
The viral
steamy
caught on
text
camera
messages.
moment when French President Emmanuel Macron was apparently slapped by his wife Brigitte can now be explained.
according to sensational claims in a new book. 1 year ago in May 2025, the French president could be seen seemingly being shoved in the face or slapped by the French First Lady in an apparent spat. The incident occurred as the couple prepared to disembark their plane in Hanoi, Vietnam, when the plane door opened, revealing the French first couple. After Macron realized they were on camera, he brushed the quick scuffle off with a smile, and has since denied the interaction was anything more than a playful moment between him and his wife. Nonetheless, for a year, millions have been pondering the truth behind the viral slap. Now, a new book by French journalist Florian Tardif claims the moment emerged after Brigitte found a steamy message from a younger actress on her husband's phone. Tardif wrote in his new book, An Almost Perfect Couple.
I mean, he clearly likes him older. She's like 15 years older than him or something. Like there's accusations that she was his teacher. There's accusations she may have groomed him.
That sources told him Emmanuel Macron had a, quote, platonic relationship with Iranian actress Golshifteh Farahani.
Oh, hey, I understand.
The sources told the author that some of the messages between the president and the actress towed the line between platonic and romantic, such as, quote, I find you very pretty. According to Tardif, this led to tensions within the couple, which resulted in this private scene becoming public, after Brigitte Macron reportedly read a message from Farahani on the president's phone, leading to the alleged dispute. What hurt Brigitte was not so much the contents of the message as what it hinted at, a possibility. Nothing tangible or that could really be denounced, but the idea alone was enough, reads an extract from the book serialized in Paris Match. Representatives for the French First Lady denied to the French outlet Le Parisien that the moment was linked to the actress, and rejected the notion that she would ever look through her husband's phone. According to the outlet, representatives for the first couple also added that they had explicitly denied this version of events to Tardif back in March, a detail they noted the author had omitted from his book. Farahani has also long denied rumors of any relationship with President Macron, which have been floating around since last year.
I say get it. Get it, Emmanuel. I think she's a cutie. Brigitte also. Nice looking lady. She can be my GOP mommy. Listen, I had I'll put up my premieres on like a different browser, and I got an ad of dancing Jews, and I'm not joking with you. That was the ad. Has anyone else, like, I had to take a picture of it. I tried to get other shots, but this was the only one I could get before it ended. Like, I'm not fucking with you. Those are dancing Jews. Oh yeah, Chud the Builder. That's the thing. I was on the Chud the Builder video, or the video was like, it's AI dancing Jews, and like, I mean overtly Jewish. You can see they all have yarmulkes on there. Other ones had the curly things and the overtly Jewish. I don't know what to think about that. Why is that happening? Okay, apparently Chud the Builder was arrested. Was shot outside of a Tennessee courthouse. We have some video. We do have some video.
He has a graze.
Oh,
I call it a graze to the left shoulder.
Chud the Builder detained after Clarksville courthouse shooting days after other arrests. Oh, we do have video with the story here. Well, this is just some B-roll after the scene. This was the shooting outside of the courthouse. In Clarksville, Tennessee, Montgomery County, 2 men were injured in a shooting outside of the Montgomery County Courthouse on Wednesday afternoon, including social media personality Dalton Etherly, known online as Chud the Builder, according to authorities. This comes days after Etherly was arrested due to an incident at a Nashville restaurant, which led to disorderly conduct and theft charges. Deputies with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and officers with the Clarksville Police Department responded about 1:20 p.m. to reports of gunfire outside of the courthouse. This video of Chud the Builder being taken away on a medical gurney. People have said that he shot himself. The report says shot a man and caught a bullet in his own arm. The only reports we have of anybody shooting are Chud himself. His medical personnel taking him away. We do at least have some footage of the live stream that he was doing. And this is in the aftermath. Someone apparently shot in the stomach. This is the second day we're doing Chud the Builder content. TMZ reporting it is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And you know if TMZ is reporting it, it is correct. The Tennessee District Attorney's Office tells TMZ that Chud the Builder is the suspect and is in police custody. So this motherfucker is going to jail for a while now. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office announced the 2 individuals involved in the incident, Chud the Builder and an unidentified male, sustained gunshot wounds. They were both hospitalized and both were listed in stable condition. Both men was taken into custody, describing the incident as a physical altercation that escalated to gunfire. The influencer claims he was jumped outside the courthouse, so he says he fired shots in self-defense, accidentally shooting himself during the altercation. He was live streaming at the time and remained online as he was speaking with emergency personnel in the aftermath of the incident.
Walked past him, he was sitting on the corner. I walked up to him because they were pointing at me. They were laughing, they were pointing at me, and I said, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing?" I said, "Y'all like the new suit?" He said, "Walk away from me." I walked away from him. He came back up to me. He literally said, I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in. He said, you start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm going to hit you. He hit me, started wailing on me, even after I had to defend myself by shooting him. He was still wailing on me.
He was still wailing on me.
Where's your weapon at?
They have everything.
What weapon is that right there? I believe that's it. Is that yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking to him right now. Oh, no, you guys are good to do your thing. Okay. He has a graze. I call it a graze to the left arm. He has slight abrasion right here on his head. Okay. Maybe some scrapes. Slight lightheadedness. No shortness of breath. No issues with memory that I know of. Okay.
Hey, what's up with that
A little
one?
overwhelmed, but.
What's up with this one?
You got a shot to the stomach.
I'm gonna look at it real quick, okay?
I guess maybe he dropped his phone or something, so there's only audio.
Go grab me a 4x4.
4x4?
Yeah, this is something I can put on it.
All right.
It's not actually bleeding or heavy or anything.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Here.
The video of his self-inflicted wound on his arm. There you have it. 2 nights in a row. Gun maxing. Smooth brain. Glad I could get that one in. That'll do some social media numbers. He's dressed up so nicely, too, for his court appearance. Here's a golden retriever getting caught raiding the fridge. Food maxing. He doesn't know what he's looking for. Communist fridge. It's our fridge. I'm thinking there's not anything in there, and he's like, shit. I keep checking. There's no food appearing. Okay, what'd he go with? I don't know if he liked his selection. He's going for like the sour cream. Oh, that's yogurt. He got him some yogurt. Well, I guess yogurt would probably be good for some puppy gut. I guess that's what he wanted. I figure it's kind of like a puppy cup for a pup cup from Starbucks, isn't it? They love that shit. Poo Poo Sama, I'm glad you enjoy the content. Or Yogurt Comrade. I'm amused by how long it takes him to pick out something. He's rummaging through the fridge for quite some time. And I still want to know what this is. Is it some kind of sandwich meat or something? He couldn't get it open? Like, that's what he really wanted. But he'll settle for some yogurt. After the wild ride that is the news, I always try to end with a cuddly animal video, or maybe a scaly animal video. I've tried to spotlight them more. I know some people like the scaly animals. I like the fluffers myself. If you are watching on Twitch, we're heading over to TaylorX Live. My boy. Light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before we hit the sack. Justin FREAKIN, we'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.